Weeks to call their first council meeting. It will be a tight deadline for political parties to form those coalitions and sort out the hung municipalities following last week's local government elections. Now, to make sense of these elections, we are joined in studio by our acting political foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena, who's been following the proceedings. Sophie, a very good morning to you. And you must be very tired. It was a tiring week, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, as I always indicate, we started in December last year, and people forget that SABC started as early as December 2015 with the launch of the UDM manifesto. And since then, we've been working very hard. The team has been working very hard. It's even difficult to give the team days, just to recover, because now you're sitting at a situation where the story is continuing with all those municipalities where decisions must be made and parties must agree in terms of how they will be formed, the municipalities.
And the story does continue, doesn't it? I mean, now it's about coalitions. Now it's about decision making at the end to meet that two-week deadline.
Yes, and talks have started, but it also started last week already, because I think the political parties knew very well that there would be challenges, and they started warming up and talking informally, and now formal talks must begin, and it's going to be a difficult one. And the strange thing about these local government elections, South Africans are looking at all those political parties, and they want to see every move they take. And it is a difficult one because these parties hold different views, they have different personalities. It's going to be a difficult one. Maybe we need a CODESA, bring them all together and get an independent mediator, help them to agree.
Now, if we look at the relations between these various parties, especially the top three, what would you say those relations are like, and what have you observed during the course of the elections?
Well, the campaigns, clearly, there were statements made, and those statements might come back to haunt some of the parties. For example, when you say, I am not going to have a discussion with so and so, now the reality has dawned. Are you going to engage with those parties? The issues of policies. I hear people saying, no, but this is about local government, is about delivery of services. It has got nothing to do with major policy shift. A small party that wants to make inroads at the national level come 2019, this is the time, to set your authority or to make people aware that you can hold people accountable, or you can push for your own policies to be recognized or to be part of the governing setup. For an example, the issue of land. People are talking about the land question, it's a national competency. But you have municipalities who has got land. And municipalities, are they giving land to ordinary people? Will the party that doesn't agree with the land question agree that when you go to municipalities, you give land to the poor? What are you going to do about that? But also the issue of personalities, individual leaders. Are they going to agree or to even sit in the same table and have discussions? So it's going to be a very challenging one.
From a coverage perspective, the SABC, how do you feel? Have we covered this elections adequately?
We did. We tried our level best. It's not always possible to meet the demands of all parties, because you had 250 parties taking part in these local government elections. And it was going to be impossible for us to be able on a daily basis to reflect 250 parties. But fortunately, SABC, with all its platforms, the television, the 18 radio stations, you are able to maneuver. And perhaps if a party didn't make it on the television bulletin on SABC1, you definitely might have it on 404, you may have it on SAFM, you might have it on Mhlobo Wenene. So we're able to try and ensure that we make South Africans aware that this is the situation, and they can make their own choices based on information they get from different parties. But it was not going to be an easy one. We tried our level best. We'll continue to do that, because that is our mandate, to ensure that we give platform to all parties, but also we allow South African public to look at what's on hand and also make their own decisions in terms of the direction the country should take.
Close to 60% of the population voted, but a lot was said about, and there was an increase, of course, in the voter tally, but a lot is being said about voter education and voter apathy. In terms of voter education, is there perhaps the negotiations with the IEC from the SABC's perspective in order to promote that type of voter education that people on the ground need as to why their vote is important and why they should vote?
SABC always work with IEC in terms of ensuring that there's voter education, but I guess we can always improve. The problem also is about resources. You know, when you engage on a particular project or program, there must be resources, and the resources must be available. But then the question is, IEC, will they be able to spend a lot of resources with voter education or with the core business of ensuring that they conduct elections? So there's always a challenge to strike a balance, but we do work with the IEC and we do help IEC to educate the nation. So
there'll also be some horse trading there.
Yes, yes.
But moving on now, the Zambian elections, they're around the corner, they're coming up. What can we expect there, Sophie?
It's a tough one. You'd recall that when the head of state died in that country, there was election. But unfortunately, and when you look at the results, it was very close. And speculations right now is that these national elections also will be a challenge for the ruling party. But yeah, indeed, elections on the 14th, and therefore we will know the results very soon.
Sophie Mokoena, thank you for joining us here in studio. That was our foreign desk editor right here in studio with us, as well as political editor, acting political editor in studio, joining us here. And we'll talk about this more, and we're asking you that very important question just after the local government elections. Would like to know from you, what do you think? Who do you think? What coalitions will emerge in South Africa's metros just after the local government elections? Let us know on the Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom, as well as on the Facebook page. If you like us there, you become part and parcel of the Informed here.